Hello, peace seekers. This is Saniqua White dropping in to give you a piece of my mind that will hopefully give you some peace of mind. And today I want to talk about a topic that is plaguing some people, wondering if it exists or if it doesn't, and what do you really call it, and whatever. But I was once asked a question at a symposium if I believed that generational curses existed and if I believed they could be broken. And the answer to the questions were yes and yes. I do believe there are generational curses, and I do believe that they can be broken. And if you're not a person of faith, you probably, the word curse probably doesn't sit well with you. And even if you are a person of faith, the word curse probably doesn't sit well with you. But there is a spiritual component to curses, but what we'll just talk about it is generational dysfunction, and that's what I'm going to call it probably in the next couple of videos in this series. So generational dysfunction does exist, and you can change it. It's going to take at least 3 things in changing your mindset, though, to make that happen. And the first thing is that you have to realize that it is a generational dysfunction, meaning it's been going on in your family for years. And either no one is talking about it, everyone is saying we've always done it. They're giving that as an excuse. They think that's a reason, but it's really an excuse that everybody has always done it. So you're going to have to recognize that it is what it is. It's a generational dysfunction. You're going to have to be the one to decide to say that you're not going to let it continue. You're not going to be the one to continue to do this, and you're not going to be responsible for the next generation continuing this, like meaning your children are not going to be involved in this behavior. You're also going to have to be the person that bears the brunt of the family coming after you because you're daring to be different. And for most people that I see, especially with my clients and even me and my own family, that's probably the most difficult thing. You can call it out. For most people, calling it out and recognizing it, you can do that. Going to get the help and deciding that you're going to do something different, that's tougher. But the toughest part is walking it out to completion, because you're going to have to bear the brunt of the one being called the names by your family members. Oh, you think you're better, or whatever that you have to go through because you're daring to be different. But I want to challenge you to be that person. If you've realized that in your family there are these generational dysfunctions, it happened to your mom, it happened to your grandma, they're still doing it, or whatever the case may be, I challenge you to be the one to break out of the dysfunction, to change the behavior. And if you dare to call it a curse, to break the cycle, to break the curse. Now, these things, this dysfunction can look different in different families, in different cultures. It can look like addiction, which is a huge one. It can look like incest, sexual abuse, which is huge. It could look like physical abuse. It could look like just not getting married. Like everybody in your family just has a baby daddy and nobody has a husband. So it could be anything that is carrying on from generation to generation as far as you can look back. If you have a parent that is still alive, did it happen in your parents' generation? If your grandparents are still alive, and even if they aren't still alive, if you look back, did it happen in that generation? If there's a generation that you can get a hold of before that, is it going on now around you? Are you now a sandwich generation where your parents were doing it, your generation is now doing it, meaning your siblings and your first cousins? And do you see the next generation doing it as well, meaning your children or your nieces and nephews doing this, whatever this dysfunction is? And that makes you the sandwich generation. Everybody's still alive. Your parents are alive, and your children or your nieces and nephews are alive, and everybody within those 3 generations are still carrying this on, you can still be the one to help your family break out of this dysfunction, because you can do it, and then you can show other people how to do it. Now, there will be backlash. You will see your own family members turn against you for doing this, but there will be some who will appreciate you for it as well. So again, I challenge you to be the cycle breaker. Again, the question was, do generational curses exist and can they be broken? Yes and yes. Also, if you consider it dysfunction, which it is dysfunction, then call it that. But it can be stopped. The cycles can be broken. And I dare you, I challenge you to be the one to break it. I'm going to come back with some additional videos on this same topic, but going more in depth into some of the dysfunction that you might see around you. And I'm going to use myself and my own family to discuss it. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe. I'll be back soon. But until then, be proactive about your mental health. Be well, and God bless.